Hello there, and welcome to DSPN Presents Mission Accomplished. I assume that's how you want it said, Jeff,
Yes,
when discussing?
that sounds right. Sounds right to me. There is a salute. I don't know.
Oh, there's a salute as well.
But
I will be sure to everybody give a salute. Mission accomplished. Which is the Super Spy semi-competitive role-playing game, and we will get more to that in a moment. My name is Rudy Basso. I am one of the hosts of this wonderful podcast and or Twitch stream. Thank you for watching and listening. We very much appreciate that. I'm going to throw it over now to the creator and writer of this game, Mr. Jeff Stormer. Jeff, tell us about yourself and tell us about what we're playing today.
Hi, I am Jeff Stormer. I am a podcaster, game designer, unofficial art designer of the Olive Garden restaurant, and occasional professional wrestling color commentator. I host the thing most people probably know me from is Party of One, which is an actual play about two-player role-playing experiences. It is ironic that I host that because I wrote a game that cannot be played with less than 4 people, and I'm aware of that. So here we are. We are playing Mission Accomplished. Mission Accomplished is the role-playing game of super spies and office meetings. You all are going to be playing secret agents, the best in the world at what you do. You who have just returned from saving the world, killing the bad guys, and, you've come back, you've gotten your big heroes, hurrah, and now you have to sit down with management in an HR debriefing session to figure out who gets credit for what went right and who gets the blame for what went wrong. By the end of the evening, somebody is getting burned, and somebody is getting that sweet corner office promotion, the one with the floor-to-ceiling windows and the company credit card that's only for emergencies.
Said, yeah.
Come on, we all know what an emergency is, right? We're all in agreement.
Said, looks good.
That's Mission Accomplished in a nutshell, and it's competitive. It is collaborative but competitive, satirical, and it should take about like an hour to an hour and a half for us to play through this.
Radical.
Cool, yeah. Awesome. Next, Shane. Who are you? And we'll leave it at that.
What does that mean?
We won't get quite into character stuff yet, I think.
Okay.
Because if the people watching can see nameplates, but we'll get into the detail of those later.
Yep. So I am Shane. I am also a podcaster and also a game designer of significantly less repute. So I am a host on the Total Party Thrill podcast, which is part of Don't Split the Podcast Network. We discuss RPGs, give advice, take lessons from our past campaigns, and build D&D characters, all in one episode each week on Thursday mornings.
Excellent. Vegas Lancaster having a nice cold Coke on this hot Tuesday evening.
Brought to you by Coke.
Oh, I wish. Who are you?
I'm Vegas Lancaster. I'm like an uglier Shane. Unless you're listening to the podcast, in which case I'm a better looking Shane.
See, that's a different experience for both audiences. That's a big win. That's great content.
But who has the more dulcet tones?
Your voice is also nicer than mine.
Well, okay.
Really a disaster all the way around.
Agreed. I'm just better than you, Vegas, I guess.
No argument here. I'm an improv comedian from the Philadelphia area. I do shows with the N Crowd most Friday nights, and musical improv comedy with my friend Kat in the musical improv band Kat and Vegas and the Temple of Boom. And you can see some of our songs on YouTube by Googling those words.
Awesome. Next up, Kat Faye. Who are you?
Hello. I'm not the cat who does improv comedy with Vegas, but I can see how that would be confusing considering the way this introduction went. I'm a different cat, and I am the Dungeon Master on the Dames and Dragons podcast on Don't Split the Podcast Network. And also sometimes I am on this podcast because I'm friends with Rudy, and
Nice.
That's how anybody gets on this podcast.
That's how I got on this podcast, to be honest.
Exceedingly low standards.
That's right, because I'm friends with everybody. Yay!
Rudy Basso, everybody. Everybody's best friend.
Best friends. Leslie. Oh, no, you're not done?
Yeah, that's me.
Keep going.
No, that was
okay, that's it. You said my name, and that means I gotta talk. Last, Lisa Chen. Hello. How are you?
I am Lisa Chen. I am the community manager for the Adventurers League, which is D&D's official play campaign, and also for the Dungeon Masters Guild, where folks write D&D 5e content. I also produce and host a podcast on this network called Behold Her Podcast, which is all about women in tabletop RPGs.
Recently featured on Polygon.com.
Yeah, so cool.
Yeah, congrats.
Sorry,
That's awesome.
other podcasters here. Polygon says you suck. No, okay.
Oh, I'm the only one here who doesn't have my own podcast.
Well,
Yeah,
soon
get on
we'll
that,
see,
Vegas.
right, Vegas?
Also, I'd be way better off if Polygon said I sucked.
To be fair, Polygon has not commented on me, but Kotaku did comment
Oh,
on me.
yeah.
I saw
I
that.
feel
That's
like I'm closing in, just not in the areas that I wish that people would talk about.
I saw that article about like 900 times on Tumblr in the past couple of days. So you're Tumblr
Alright.
famous now.
Tumblr famous, I did it.
You made it.
Yeah.
13-year-olds love you.
13-year-olds. Hey, Tumblr is a tough demographic to break into. Trust me, there are a lot of teens who are very angry about everything.
A lot of
at
stuff.
me.
Lot of angry teens.
Yeah, it's a bad scene, but we love Tumblr, so.
All right. New thing to be afraid of on the internet. Anyway, Jeff Stormer, take us away. Mission accomplished.
So, as I mentioned, you are secret agents. Specifically, you are secret agents of the United Nations Department of High Risk Operations. That is the Hero Department. Your mission, if you choose to accept it, is to oppose the efforts of villains, the vast international league of larcenists, arsonists, and inventors of nefarious science. Most recently, villains, we have found an opportunity to seriously hinder villains' future operations because an individual known only as the Bull, a noted villains accountant, has entered into an illicit underground poker tournament on international waters, carrying with him a considerable amount of money earmarked for future villains' operations. If that money could be recovered, it would greatly hinder their future capabilities and possibly convince the Bull to seek sanctuary with the Hero Department.
Oh.
This is where all of you come in. At the start of our game, we are back. You have successfully bankrupted the Bull. Mission accomplished. Now we're back because, unfortunately, a few things went wrong on the mission. Some things went very, very sideways, and while it was a success, and while we should all be happy with our contributions, we need to get to the bottom of what happened so that we can, account for who is responsible, because obviously it was the actions of an agent on the field, because if it wasn't one of your faults, it was Mission Control's fault, and it's never Mission Control's fault. So what I need from you first, I have shared with all of you I'm going to post it in our secret friends chat, which Twitch does not get to see. I'm going to post the link to the mission dossier. What I need from each of you is one thing that went terribly wrong on the mission that we don't know who is responsible. The two concrete facts are you all came back alive, and the mission, the primary objective, which is bankrupt the Bull, win the poker tournament, was a success. But from each of you, I just need one thing that went terribly sideways while you're on this decommissioned ex-cruise liner turned into an illegal underground casino on international waters. Does anybody have a suggestion for something that went terribly wrong? Let's start with Kat.
The tiger got drunk.
There's Drunken Tiger. Perfect.
Crouching Dragon.
Crouching dragon. Drunk tiger.
There's Pookums, the Pookums, the possibly genetically altered tiger of $, who is the mysterious anonymous organizer of these illegal underground poker tournaments, who also owns a tiger because they have a taste for the dramatic. Somebody got the tiger drunk, and presumably that led to some very, very bad shenanigans.
I'm going to say that a large percentage of the people on the cruise line were mistakenly directed to that cruise, thinking it was a Disney cruise.
Well, that seems like an error. That seems like a filing error that probably came from us, because $sign is very good at organizing underground poker tournaments, it probably has to do with the fact that we were on that particular vessel at that particular time, which means it's probably one of you leaked that information to the Disney Cruise Line people, and I really don't want to deal with the Disney Corporation, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, you don't mess with the mouse.
Who does?
I don't want to mess with the mouse. All right, anybody? Who's next? Who's got something else that was gone horribly wrong?
Sure. Oh, you go?
Yeah, so I know this is a sore subject and technically it's an HR violation, but somebody got married on this mission.
Someone got married. Well, now you say someone, but it kind of sounds like two people got married.
Well, yes. Someone on the mission team got married. I will not name names.
Well, we appreciate your anonymity, but we will have to get to the bottom of this before the debriefing session is over.
Oh. I have another one of the, I want to. Someone was accidentally entered into and maybe won the underground fighting tournament going on on the boat.
Great. There are underground fighting tournaments also happening on the boat. If somebody entered in and won that tournament, that would be it would be a violation of our corporate gambling policy, which stated that you should only be participating in events in an official company capacity. I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to say we're not proud of you for at least winning.
I'm also going to say that for some reason the boat's course got redirected, and it steered through a important mating site for endangered dolphins.
No! Not the poor dolphins. Oh, now I'm real mad. Now Mission Control's real upset. Like you messed with the beautiful angels of the sea, and now I'm real unhappy. Okay, so now that we know what has gone wrong, now it is time to introduce our agents. What I ask from each of you is the following information: your spy name, which is the best spy name you can think of; your specialty, the reason you were deployed on the mission; and a fun fact, something to help us get to know you as a person. Because we're an organization, but we're really more like a family here at the Hero Department. We're like a work family, and that's what makes the long hours and the low pay and the casual disrespect by management all worth it in the end. So why don't we start with Shane? Introduce us to your agent.
All right. Well, I am Commissar Red. I am from Russia. I am here as political officer, or as you prefer to call it in the West, morale officer. I am here to make sure that everybody remains loyal to Hero, that nobody falls to villain, and that everybody curbs their natural tendency to be capitalist pig.
We very much appreciate your contributions, and we appreciate your commitment to crossing lines and entering the international community.
Yes, thank you.
Vegas, introduce us to your agent.
My name is Ed Squire. I'm a lawyer for Hero, and my formal job is to make sure that we operate within our sanctioned legal guidelines. But on my business card, it says I'm a karate lawyer.
Oh, well, is that an officially designated title? Is that sort of a fun title?
It may be Ed's belief that he was hired both for his great law skills in addition to his great karate skills.
Understandable.
Even if that's not necessarily the case.
Well, either way, we appreciate both of the things you do for the organization. Kat, introduce us to your agent.
I'm Harriet, the spy, and I am an infiltration expert. I'm great at going through vents and other tight spaces. I'm not that great at talking to people, but that's not my job. And one fun fact about me is I once fit 10 golf balls in my mouth.
10 golf balls. That's a lot of golf balls. That's a fun bar trick. Rudy, introduce us to your agent.
My name is Brick Lightning. I drive things, or pilot things, or steer things, however boats work. That's what I do.
feel like you should know how boats work if your job is to operate boats.
It's like it's a skill that you can't teach or learn. It just happens naturally with me. I just know.
Sounds like not the case. Sounds all right. I mean, I feel like I've learned how to pilot a boat.
Pilot, that's the word. Oh, it's the same word as flying stuff. How about that?
Actually, I think it might be steer. You know what? I think I was lying when I said I knew how to operate a boat. So you caught me. You got me.
Well, whatever it is, I'm really good at that.
Perfect.
Also, I do a lot of community theater on the weekends.
Oh, I do love community theater. We do. We have a real commitment to the arts at the hero department.
Yeah.
Lisa, introduce us to your agent.
I, Lisa, am playing an agent named Mona. I'm the friendly office receptionist. Some say I'm maybe not the best receptionist, but my real passion is in the arts. I had an art show actually this past weekend. Everyone said in the email chain that they would go. I don't think I saw any of you though.
I mean, yeah, I had a thing.
I had rehearsal.
Yeah,
I was there. You just didn't see me. That's my job, to not be seen.
But I do occasionally, aside from booking appointments for folks and welcoming people who attend for meetings, I also help out creating forgeries and disguises when we need them.
Perfect. So the last thing, so the next we are going to, because you successfully accomplished the mission, because you were successful, every one of you did something to help that mission, which is how you are going to accrue your first commendation dice. So we're going to go back around the table. I will go the opposite way. So we'll start with Lisa, work our way back around. Tell me how you helped complete the mission. You helped like pull off this tournament, bankrupt the bull. You helped save the world. Tell us how you did it.
At the last minute, we needed disguises. Of course, nobody else was prepared. So we went into the janitor's closet and using only items found in the janitor's closet, I created some amazing disguises for someone.
Fantastic. Everybody needs a disguise. This was an important confidential mission. If it got back to anyone that we were involved in this poker tournament, it would be all of our heads. So take a commendation dice. Commendation dice are one of the ways in which our automated algorithmic analysis tool determines who is best suited for promotion and who is unfortunately not operating at the standards of the hero department. You will roll these dice at the end of the game, and they will determine where you fall in relation to your peers. You want to collect as many of them as possible while collecting as few citation dice, which are very bad, because even one citation dice can destroy all of your chances at a future promotion, so you should avoid getting citations whenever possible. So collect a commendation dice right off the bat for helping save the world. Nice. And now we're going to move on. Rudy.
While the
Black
chaos,
Lightning. Tell us how you help save the world.
While the chaos was happening on board, I took control of the entire ocean liner, or is it an ocean liner? Yeah, right.
It is an ocean liner. Yes, it was a former cruise liner. The Blind Stud, which is the boat that you've all been tasked with infiltrating, is a former cruise liner that was converted into basically an illegal underground casino.
I do not want to correct mission control, but I believe it was a former ocean liner.
That is probably accurate.
Now current Disney cruise liner.
They did. Oh, you're right. Nope. Technically, we do have to legally refer to it as intellectual property of the Disney Corporation.
Do not mess with mouse.
But I steered us away from the dolphin breeding area.
I'm so happy that you avoided hitting any of those beautiful, precious. Sorry, I'm getting a little choked up.
Clowns of the sea, as I like
love
to
them
call
so
them.
much. Take a commendation dice.
Yeah.
Harriet, tell us how you help save the world. All right, I'm better. Tell us how you help save the world, Harriet.
Well, I spent a majority of the mission confined in a large suitcase that was being dragged around by one of the other operatives, and I managed to plant all of the surveillance equipment from inside that suitcase.
It's very impressive. That's remarkably impressive considering how small our regulation suitcases are. Take a commendation dice.
Thank you. I will.
Mr. Squire, Esquire?
Ed Squire. I played poker against the bull. Somebody had to do it. It was me.
Somebody had to do it. You're absolutely right, and we really appreciate that it was you. Take that commendation dice.
Kind of the whole point of the mission. I think I should take 2.
No, I think you're gonna take 1.
All right.
You know what? That seems like a real questioning authority kind of moment. That doesn't seem like respect for my status as your manager. I have to give you a citation for that.
Yeah.
Oh, things got real serious real fast.
Somebody's in trouble.
It is okay. You can make it up later.
Harriet, I don't think really that kind of taunting is respected within our ranks. It kind of undermines our values of team spirit. I'm going to have to also cite you for that.
Is the citation taking one of the other color dice?
Yes, citation dice are the bad dice.
Ooh, somebody's in trouble, and it's me.
That's a real that's using humor to cope with pain, and I appreciate that. Last but not least, Commissar Red, tell us how you help save the world.
Wait, did you skip Rudy?
No, I went.
Oh, my bad.
Rudy steered us away from the
Oh,
dolphins.
right. Okay. I use contact from previous job before Hero in order to make sure that we stay anonymous, or most of us, others of us, stay anonymous on boat.
Well,
You know what? We appreciate the use of your professional network to help enhance our office culture. Take a commendation dice for that.
Yes, thank you.
was it Russia?
What?
Your contacts, were they from Russia?
Yes, old country. Yes.
Okay.
What? We are ally.
Just a lot of questions going on about government agencies getting involved with Russia right now.
Mission control. I do not appreciate this.
Yeah, this seems like
questioning of my...
this seems like an unfair questioning of a fellow agent, but also I respect that you learn. I respect that you know. Respect that you know your fellow agents' lives outside of work. And Squire, take a commendation dice for that.
All right.
All right.
Points at Squire.
So we have met our agents. We have figured out how you accomplished the objective. We figured out what went wrong. Now comes the most important part of our operation, and that is how you are going to anonymously provide feedback on your fellow agents. Looking to the agent to your left and to your right, I'm using the Twitch display and will post it on our secret best friends group chat.
Yes.
You are going to you're going to post 2 pieces of secret information. You are going to directly message them to me and only me, and then I will reveal them to the group at a later moment. These are going to be 2 pieces of information. One thing that one of the 2 agents did right, and one thing the other one did wrong. Something that somebody did to help advance the mission, and something the other person did to complicate the mission or to make it a lot worse. Everyone, I will ask you to directly message that to me when you have ideas. And in the meantime, I am free to answer any questions anyone has.
So, are we assigning to the person which was the good thing and which was the bad thing?
Yes. You can choose either person to have done something good and the other person to have done something bad.
Okay, so it was Mona did something good and Ed Squire did something bad, or vice versa.
Yes,
but
exactly.
Not just, okay, got it.
And so it's entirely possible that you will have two things that you did bad and nothing you did good, or you did 2 things well and did nothing bad. It's entirely possible that you were a golden child that did nothing but help. But I guarantee you that will not help you in the meeting.
We were all golden children. We did a great job.
You did do a great job. It's just the clowns of the sea are precious resources, and we cannot be risking them. So you have to understand that we have to get to the bottom of this. And so, yeah, if everybody is aware of the private messaging function in the group chat in Zoom, you can use that to message me directly, and I will be the only one that sees it. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
Fantastic.
And this is what's known as the fun part of the stream.
Yep.
Yes. Here's where
Or
we
the-
all sit
yeah.
silently and think quietly.
Here's where
And we think how best to ruin our friends' lives.
Yes, indeed.
But boy, will it pay off later. Keep watching.
If you're listening to this, you're hearing none of it because it's been edited out.
I wish I don't have anything to do like card tricks or. Here, I'm gonna pretend to juggle
Ooh.
and just sort of look like I'm holding boobs.
Okay.
How about those sports teams?
How about those sportos?
How about them?
Are we talking about Gritty? Is this my chance to talk about Gritty?
Yeah, talk about
Gotta talk
Gritty
about
Pro Gritty. I hope if it's pro Gritty, then
You-
go for it. If it's anti Gritty, the stream's ending.
Excuse you, I live in Philadelphia.
I
I
know.
am the most pro Gritty.
Wow.
I am the only one here who is allowed to be pro Gritty.
I'm afraid
Vegas
of
can be
Gritty.
pro-Gritty.
I
love-
have a deep-seated it's just a visceral fear of Gritty.
I love him. I love him. I love him with all of my heart.
I feel like deep-seated visceral fear is sort of the appropriate emotional reaction to Gritty if you're not from Philadelphia.
And then fierce protection is the correct response if you are in the city of Philadelphia.
Yeah. Yeah.
Philadelphia Twitter had like a half hour of what the heck is this dumb new mascot, and then immediately did a 180 and was like,
Oh, yeah.
"Hey, we love Gritty now. Everyone back off."
Oh yeah. It went real quickly from, oh, I hate this. And then, well, here's what happened. Here's what happened with Gritty as let's see, how many of these things do I have?
It wasn't until he got the Fanatics endorsement that everyone was like, all right, I guess he's cool.
Okay, we have 7 of 10 at the moment. Yeah, here's what happened. Well, that was part of it, and then the other part of it was that he fell over on the ice. His first appearance, he shot a man with a t-shirt gun and then wiped out. That is the moment that
entrance.
that is the moment that we as a city realized, oh, he's all of us.
We were like, "Oh, he's a piece of trash, just like me." Love this guy.
Yes, but you don't get to say that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think I'm missing 1, but unless it may have been posted. Did everybody send over their 2?
I
Yes.
sent mine.
Yes.
I just got-
sent.
I
I
just
just
got-
sent my first. So 1 second.
I do want to say the best way to start any conversation is to say, how about that local sports? Because somebody will have something to say about a local sports.
It's also fair. That's entirely fair.
And I just proved it, because none of us are sports people, but we did just have a conversation about a sports.
I'm
did.
a sports person.
Shane's
though.
a sports person.
Well,
My
Shane,
team is undefeated.
which team are you?
Well, in this case, I'm talking about Georgia,
Oh,
which is a
I know
college
nothing
football
about
team.
sports. I can't.
If it doesn't involve a magical trash monster who, and I am not exaggerating when I say this, was unearthed by construction underneath Flyer Stadium.
Is
was
that his
awoken-
lore?
Yes, he was awoken. He was awoken when they penetrated his home and awoke him from a deep slumber for a years-long slumber and now he is their mascot.
Gritty's gonna destroy the planet.
Well,
And you know what? I'm okay with it.
that's fine. I don't even think that the Minnesota hockey team has a mascot. We're the Wilds. I think our mascot is just like some pine trees.
Isn't
That sounds. Is it?
isn't it like a bear or something?
I had assumed it was a plate of hot dish. Honestly,
That's fair. That's our just like
Ew.
not state mascot is actually our state mascot is an unidentified food that has been deep fried and put on a stick.
Hmm.
That's
also fair.
like what we eat.
All right, so we have all of our anonymous reports, which means it is time for us to start the meeting.
Yeah.
One thing that I will point out before we begin the meeting is I will post this also in the chat. I'm going to post this in the chat and also in the Twitch chat so that people at home can... Well, no, I'm going to post it here and then I will just read out the values because you don't get this for free.
Oh.
Okay, here is... So important thing to note as we are going through this meeting is you want to make sure that no matter what you are doing, you are adhering to the 7 habits of highly effective Black Ops agents.
Yes.
These are the values of our organization. These are the ways that we determine who is best suited to lead our organization. These are important values. They are a commitment to excellence, efficiency, team spirit, but also personal development, a respect for authority, inventory management, and fiscal responsibility. These are how we will save the world. So as I am going through and asking you these questions, make sure you're keeping these in mind, as explaining how your actions fall in line with these seven values. And I will be making sure to note how your actions violate them and handing out citation dice accordingly.
Did you put that in the chat?
I put it in the Secret Best Friends group chat. Oh, I sent it to Vegas privately.
Oh,
Yeah.
Vegas has it alone.
mission
Hooray.
control's biased.
All right, now everybody should have it. All right, so we're in this room. We are in this too small office room. I think at least one or two of you is sitting on like a heating grate, and it may or may not be on. And
Is this like direct from Exfil? We're immediately here, or is this like the next day?
it's the next Saturday. It is
Okay.
a Saturday morning. You have been called in on your off hours to come to this meeting room. There's a pitcher of water, but it's very lukewarm.
Mm.
There's a
Also,
plate of donuts
office
that are a
coffee,
little
not
bit
food.
stale. Mission Control walks in, sits down, has a folder of papers, and is just, okay. So, we have some stuff to discuss. We need to get to the bottom of a few things, and thank you all for coming in on a Saturday. And hopefully we will get out of this and you'll be able to enjoy a little bit of your weekend. So, where do we want to get started? I guess the place to get, well, okay, let me look at my notes. I think the place to get started is our friends, sorry, hold on, I have to read an official statement. Our friends and yours at the Disney Corporation would like to get to the bottom of how people were misdirected from this boat before it left harbor, how people were misdirected from a Disney cruise vessel to an underground illegal poker tournament, which is now the intellectual property of the Walt Disney Corporation. Would somebody like to own up to sending the wrong email to the wrong person? Or would somebody like to anonymously point me in the direction of the person that they think sent the wrong email to the wrong person?
Well, here's the thing. Mona, as the intern, really the only person here sending out emails.
It's a valid point. Mona, would you like to respond?
I send out the emails, but I really just forward communications that are given to me. And someone had left in a link that was the incorrect link. No one told me I had to check all of them.
All right. Okay. I mean, well, I would expect that even if you're not told you're supposed to check links, you should be like pursuing the opportunity to be double checking your work, because that feels like a real commitment to excellence. And that kind of seems like making excuses, which is not really.
No, there was that one time I checked links and someone was like, "Why are you checking my links? Like, are you coming for my job?" So I don't check people's links anymore.
I
Well-
believe Commissar Red has advised us not to click on any links that we don't recognize on
Well,
multiple occasions.
This is true, but she did not follow policy because she showed up to boat with Disney costume on. That was her first disguise.
That does feel. Well, first off, which Disney costume was it? And secondly, that does feel perhaps suspicious.
Donald Duck. She refused to wear pants.
Hmm.
I'm feeling really called out right now. Everyone told me that this was a costumed event. And it's really just a coincidence that, I mean, I really like Donald Duck, and I thought it would be a really good disguise. In my defense, nobody recognized me.
Now, I do have to say, in your defense, it did turn out to be maybe the perfect disguise on account of it was a Disney cruise. So I'm going to give you a commendation dice for that, but I am going to have to give you a citation as well, just for making excuses and for thinking that just because somebody told you not to do something once, you think that you should never do it, because you should really be intuiting these things on a personal level. Does that make sense? I don't want to be too harsh.
I really appreciate that feedback to develop, because I would like to seek upward opportunities here at
That's a
Hero.
real respect for authority. I'm going to give you a commendation dice for that.
Also, before we move on, it is important I clarify policy. Do not click links from unknown persons. Those are likely phishing links. We are important intergovernmental agency. We get lots of phishing.
We do get a lot of phishing. We also get a lot of fish-related spam emails. which is something that we'll talk about in a future. Whoever's been signing us up for fishing-related mailing lists, Lightning, looking kind of in your direction.
I do love boats, sir.
That's why I'm looking in your direction. Speaking of, I want to jump a little bit ahead. So you're on the boat. You've made it on. You're in disguises. Let me see. Let me look through my notes here.
I'd just like to clarify, I was not in disguise. I was in a suitcase.
You were in the suitcase, and we've gone over that, and we appreciate that.
I just want to make sure that we remember the sacrifices that I made for this team, in that I did not get to partake in any of the fun things at this mission, and I don't mind that because I like
that.
Case.
But I happen to have a report that says that you would not at all stop making waffles at the breakfast buffet.
Well, that doesn't sound like me because I was in the suitcase.
Did anybody have eyes on Harriet in the suitcase and not at the breakfast buffet?
I was way too hungover to be at breakfast buffet.
That's...
Carousing is part of my job. It is important for morale and maintaining political focus.
I'll submit that it's not impossible for Harriet to be telling the truth about being in the suitcase while still having made lots of waffles at the breakfast bar.
That is a keen attention to detail. That's why we have you on board as a lawyer. Hold on, wait. Why do I have your official title as karate? That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
All right.
I went to a law dojo.
I'll fess up. I did make waffles at the breakfast bar from inside the suitcase because I'm committed to my job. But they were waffles for the team, so
that's great team spirit right there. I'm gonna give you a commendation dice for that. And you stayed in disguise in the suitcase. That feels like I'm all on board with that.
I didn't get a waffle.
Well,
okay.
Now,
Dude, the issue has gotten complicated.
I could only hand out waffles from inside the confines of the suitcase. If you didn't come to my suitcase, I didn't really know who I was handing the waffles to.
In that case, did we
I
not
feel
all
really
do our job?
unappreciated right now.
I feel like if you're making waffles, I feel like if you're not making an effort to make everyone waffles, can you really even say you're making them for the team?
I made enough waffles for everybody on the team. If I did not give waffles to everybody on the team, that means somebody else took 2 waffles.
Whoa!
Someone
hold on.
took a waffle?
Who took 2 waffles?
Well, that sounds like you're a little suspicious there, Mr. Squire.
I am.
What? A waffle hog?
I'm not a waffle hog.
That's a citation. It's a citation.
What?
It's a citation.
Also, he could have compromised.
Before I hand out that citation, can anybody confirm that Squire did not take 2 waffles?
I was watching him at the poker table, acting as his bodyguard. I saw him given 2 waffles. It was unclear who made the waffles, and everything happened so quickly I didn't even see who handed him the waffles. But he definitely ate at least 2 waffles. I'm positive. I got no waffles, by the way.
You also got no waffles.
I was standing,
no waffle.
committing to bodyguard.
How many waffles? Okay, all right, hold on. Harriet, how many waffles did you give to Squire to hand out to the rest of the team?
Once again, I don't know who I handed the waffles to because I was inside a suitcase. I was just handing waffles out of the zipper pocket. And whoever was taking those waffles, it was their job to make sure that they got to the team.
I did hear a lot of people saying there's a suitcase handing out waffles, and it wasn't necessarily anyone on the team. It was just the commotion of the poker table was free waffles at the free buffet.
All right. We're getting down a waffle-shaped rabbit hole.
A waffle at a time, sir, as I would say.
All I'm saying here is Harriet, it sounds like you got to be more careful handing out waffles.
Thank you for the feedback.
That's all I'm asking, and I'm gonna have to give you a citation for not making sure if you're gonna make waffles that everyone gets a waffle.
Thank you for the feedback. I'll try and cut eye holes in the suitcase next time. I'm sure that won't be suspicious at all.
Well, now it's starting to sound sassing.
No, sir, I'm not trying to sass you. I very much respect your authority. I'm just trying to problem solve proactively for our next mission. Because if I need to hand out waffles to everybody and make sure I know who I'm handing them out to, then need to be able to see out of the suitcase, and I need to figure out a way to make that not suspicious. Does anybody on the team have suggestions?
No, but I'm confident you will figure it out. You are a valued member of team. Go team.
Go team.
Tell you what, if I ate 2 waffles, they must have been some pretty small waffles.
Now, actually, I need to call something out. As Lightning, you mentioned that you were operating as Squire's bodyguard.
This is true.
I do have a report that you were actually dragging around Harriet in the suitcase and causing distractions while Harriet was planting surveillance equipment.
I was told yes. So before the poker game began, we went on a scouting mission.
Was this before or after the waffles?
This was pre-waffles, sir. And that was the ending location of the suitcase, was in the breakfast buffet area. I do not know how Harriet made it to the waffle station. I dropped her off in an inconspicuous table, kind of on its own. Actually, it was by the coat rack, as I recall.
Wait, if you weren't dragging around my suitcase, who was carrying my suitcase?
I was dragging you around, and then we ended at the breakfast buffet. We were on this the aforementioned scouting mission, sir, where we were dropping off bugs in the underground fighting pits by the tiger, the escaped tiger, I might add, which I just learned about this morning. I was unaware of the escaped tiger. I had nothing to do with that whatsoever.
Well, that sounds like a little suspicious. Does anybody want to comment on that?
I'm sorry, I'm just going back to, I don't know who was carrying my suitcase because I thought it was Brick's job to carry my suitcase, and he says he left me at a coat rack.
It sounds like it sounds like you didn't properly convey to Harriet that you were going to drop her off at that.
I said it clearly and loudly. Okay, this is not my suitcase that I have found at the coat rack, but I am leaving it now to attend the poker tournament. If she could not hear me while inside the suitcase, perhaps she needs ear holes in addition to eye holes of her suitcase.
You know what?
I think I can understand what happened here.
All right, help me out here, because it's starting to sound like a real lack of team spirit is coming from our friend Brick Lightning.
It's constructive feedback.
I am a little frustrated by this. I think what happened here is that he left suitcase unattended. And what happens when you leave suitcase unattended in travel situation?
That is a notable risk, and that's putting your fellow agent at risk, and then sassing her about it later. I'm afraid I'm gonna have to give you a citation for that.
Constructive feedback. Okay, thank you. I will take the citation, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for accepting. It
is warranted. It is warranted.
Thank you. Take a commendation dice for accepting feedback.
I will accept that as well. It is also warranted.
Everyone else, I'd like you to look at Brick Lightning right now. Really take a lesson in how to take feedback.
It's great work.
I have something to say, sir.
Please.
I think that it would be more efficient if next time we waited until after the mission for waffles, then we can focus on one thing at a time. I also just to communicate clearly, I just want to say I'm a little bit upset, Harriet, that you did choose to feed the team waffles. You know that I organized waffle breakfast today for the office, and this really explains why no one's in the mood for them.
It does. That does. Well, you know what? We do commend you for organizing the waffle breakfast. I'm going to give you a commendation dice for that. Now,
Mona?
She did not take into account dietary consideration. I have friend in office. I have many friends in office, but I have friend in office who gluten free, and friend in office could not eat waffles.
But there were all of the fruit toppings.
There was fruit available.
Table
Also,
from the waffles.
I am diabetic. It was rude.
Oh.
Mona? I really enjoyed the waffle breakfast, and I really appreciate that you got the good caramel sauce.
That's such good team spirit. Take a commendation dice.
It was nice thought, but it was lousy execution.
Now, well, speaking of lousy execution, I got to bring something up, Commissar.
Yes.
I have here a report, and I'm hoping that you could explain. I'm hoping that you could sort of defend the character a little bit of your contacts that assisted you on the mission.
Oh yes.
Because I have a report here that says that while your contacts did successfully assist us in the mission, they almost totally ripped us off.
Also yes.
All right.
This is not surprise to anybody. Almost is operative word. They did not succeed. We were successful. Mission accomplished.
Okay, you don't say that back to me.
Oh, sorry. You're right. Mission successful.
Thank
That
you.
is your word, right?
Thank you.
Yes.
I say that thing.
Yes, correct. My apologies.
Now, obviously, I'm not going to ask anybody to step forward about writing an anonymous report, but I guess I'm just curious how we found ourselves in a position where Russian hustlers have almost stolen a tremendous amount of money that has been earmarked for international, let's say, international terrorist operations.
Would like to be clear. Ukrainian. They were Ukrainian.
Ukrainian hustlers ended
I
up
am
with a
Russian.
suitcase
They were
of
Ukrainian.
money. Ended up with a suitcase of bit chips, which is the official cryptocurrency of illegal underground poker tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
How they ended up with a suitcase full of bit chips that was earmarked for terrorist operations.
Sir, I would like to remind you, the tiger got drunk.
The tiger did get drunk.
Of which I know nothing about.
Well,
That sounds like a guilty conscience, my
Nope.
friend.
well,
All right, let's just throw this out there. A tiger is a beautiful animal which should not be caged on a boat.
you know what? You would say that, given that I have a report that it was you, Squire, that got the tiger drunk.
I was individually, I did not give the tiger enough alcoholic beverages to get it drunk because I was not aware of how many other people were also giving the tiger alcoholic beverages.
Okay, could anybody? All right, well, so that seems reckless, no matter what. So I'm going to give you a citation, but I'm going to give you a commendation for. No, I'm not going to give you a commendation. Just a citation, and I'm going to ask if anybody else.
I think that's good judgment on your part.
Nobody likes to suck up.
I agree with you on that point.
I'm going to ask. I'm just going to ask for an open, honest environment. If anybody else gave alcohol to this tiger, please step forward now.
So midway through the poker tournament, the bets got a little weird, and multiple times people started betting whether they would give a drink to the tiger if they won the hand. So I saw Ed Squire lose a particular hand where he had to give drinks to the tiger, and that is why he gave drinks to the tiger.
Could anybody? I'm just asking. There's no threat of reprisal here. If anybody else gave drinks to the tiger, speak up now.
Yes, I also gave drinks to tiger.
Great, appreciate your honesty. Take a commendation.
I gave drinks to the tiger as well.
That's a commendation right there.
I gave a
I
waffle
had nothing
to
to do with the
tiger.
tiger. I had nothing to do with the tiger.
You gave. See, now you're saying you gave a waffle to the tiger?
I do know that I gave a waffle to the tiger because I could feel its teeth and its breath, and I think it enjoyed the waffle.
Was this waffle earmarked for the team, or did you have one left over?
Oh, I had one. It was supposed to be my waffle, but I didn't want to try and eat within the suitcase, so I thought I would give it out to the team. But
So what you're
saying?
saying is that feels like you're not taking your body's needs into account.
Well, I was, sir. I don't really want to talk about it in a meeting, but I do have some intestinal problems that I'm currently working with the doctor.
You know what?
on.
Okay, I appreciate your bravery, and I appreciate you taking your body into account and not engaging in gluttony just because waffles are present. That's a commendation dice.
Thank you, sir.
Now, speaking of the card tournament, Mona, I have here that you spilled a drink on the bull and switched out his winning cards with a losing hand. Can you walk us through how you found yourself in position for that?
Yeah. I walked past his name.
You
I
were
walked
disguised as
past,
a waitress.
Squire,
Right?
and saw that he had a pretty good hand,
Mm-hmm.
not a great hand. So something needed to be done. I created cards from towels that I pasted together in the janitor's closet. You could not tell that they were towels. They looked exactly like cards. I painted them using some cleaning components.
Great.
And with a drunk tiger running around, it was pretty easy to stumble and spill my drink when the tiger bumped into me. mixing up the cards was a piece of cake.
Now, my question for you was this regulation was the paint that you used, was the cleaning supplies that you used, were they the Hero Department regulation brands? Were you using the off brands, or did you use the fancy stuff?
I will say that this was not something that we anticipated on the mission, so I did have to be a little bit creative. I thought that it would be okay because we were in international waters, but if I made the wrong decision there, I will accept the consequences.
Squire, this is going down. You've got your win. I guess my question for you is, did you feel like your hand would have won had these cards not been replaced? This is a real moment. This is a real moment for you to be honest.
I mean, I was going all in.
That sounds reckless.
It was at the time. I had several drinks.
See, that's...
Every time I gave the tiger a drink, I also had a...
I saw his cards over his shoulder. He had a 9-10 offsuit. So I'm not so sure if all-in was the right move there, sir.
Well, then you know what?
We were playing Ukrainian Hold'em.
Oh, that's right.
There were Ukrainians on the boat. Mona, I'm going to give you a commendation dice for that. That is owning the fact that you had to make a tough call. But I'm also going to give you a citation for not anticipating the need for cleaning supplies and not using regulation equipment, because we are technically okay. This is obviously an unforeseen circumstance, and this is something that I understand was a complication that happened during the mission. But as the boat, and as honestly a considerable portion of the Hero Department is now owned by the Disney Corporation, we do have to replace all of the cleaning supplies used on that boat. It's not a great deal. We kind of got a bad contract out of it.
I think I would suggest next time, perhaps Harriet could not be in the suitcase and I could put some of our cleaning supplies in it instead.
That's fair. I would prefer to have another mission in vents next time. So I'd be fine giving up my suitcase place. But speaking of my suitcase and suitcases, and suitcases full of bit chips, which we did sort of gloss over.
We did gloss over the suitcase
full of bit chips. And the bit chips, and they did try and steal my suitcase when we tried to get the bit chips back from them.
Yes, that is called a switch.
Situation for me because I don't speak Ukrainian and I wasn't sure where they were taking me.
Now, was this when you were forced to talk to a very important person, which usually goes very wrong, but in this case went very right?
Yeah, that was, well, see, they stole my, well, they didn't, okay, let me back up.
Walk us through it.
This was a very stressful situation for me, and it's kind of hard for me to talk about, because I don't talk well to people in general, but,
Sure.
but, so, from my perspective, I was in my suitcase, I had given up all my waffles, my hands were a little bit sticky, but, you know, I had finished my work, so I figured it'd be fine. And then I started moving, and I wasn't sure why I was moving. And I heard this language I didn't understand, and they were saying something about all of these bit chips, and something about them being real heavy. And then we got stopped by a security guard, me in the suitcase, and these people who were carrying me, and they asked to open the suitcase. And the men who were carrying me didn't seem really happy about, you know, having to open the suitcase because I think that they thought that it was full of bit chips that they were trying to steal. So the suitcase got open, and then I popped out, and I said, "Happy birthday, Mr. President!" And
Classic.
everybody seemed to like that. So
Classic. You overcame a weakness. You overcame an opportunity for development. You showed real strength. That's a commendation dice.
thank you, sir.
As this is happening, Squire is going all in. Commissar Red, how did you distract somebody? Allowing Squire to change into a disguise during the tournament?
Oh, well, you know my associates. They wanted, arrange payment, all of this stuff. We make switch for suitcase, right? Heavy Bitcoin.
Right.
Did you switch out? Did you know I was in the suitcase you switched out?
Yes, technically I sold you to a rival agent.
That's poor team spirit. I'm gonna have to give you a citation for
Well,
that.
but I got her back. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a commitment to excellence. So take a commendation. So take a commendation and a citation for that.
Okay, that is fair. I agree. Yes, it's I should have disclosed plan first. Agreed. Yes.
That's fair.
So as this is happening, we get Tiger drunk. I bring my friend Tiger Woods, other Tiger, who also is drunk, into poker tournament. He is like
loves an illegal poker tournament.
Loves a poker, loves a drink, right? Is big celebrity. Everybody goes, oh hey, it's Tiger Woods. We want picture Tiger. Like want to post on our Instagram, yeah. And so everybody like stops, the game and everything. Gives everybody a chance to make costume change, come back, get a little stuff done. Maybe sell one of our agents into rival tournaments. Okay.
Now, speaking of changing into costumes, I have a question for Mona. I have a note here that says that you donned a mime disguise after switching out of your Donald Duck attire. Why, then, could you not stay silent?
Well,
seems like it's real important for a mime to stay silent.
True. Usually, yes. However, I had come in the Donald Duck costume, which seemed like it would be the perfect disguise, but it got a little bit distracting because everybody thought they were there for a Disney cruise.
Sure, a lot of people there for a Disney
was trying
cruise.
to take pictures with me. After a while, it just really didn't make sense. So I changed into the mime disguise, not realizing that the theme of the ship that night was like a 1920s French theme. And so a lot of people were wearing
Cirque du Soleil
in a striped shirt. So then everybody thought that I was service, and I kept getting asked questions.
Well, and at that point, you kind of have to. Oh, sorry, Harriet, you got a question?
I have to admit, I was part of the reason she couldn't stay silent, because after I popped out and said, "Happy birthday, Mr. President," they wanted me to perform a song, and I can't sing, so I sort of roped Mona in.
So, okay, appreciate you confessing that. I am gonna have to cite you for not taking the company mandated singing lessons. These are opportunities for you to round yourself as an employee and as an agent.
Yes, sir. I understand.
Now, speaking of costumes, Mona, go ahead and take a commendation dice for that. That's solid. That's solid thinking on your feet. Wouldn't have said a mime should speak 5 minutes ago, but you've sold me. Squire.
Yes, sir.
I have it here that you detected a villain's agent and infiltrated the mission. I have here that you detected a villain's agent, had infiltrated the mission and assassinated them. Was this why you had entered the underground fighting tournament?
Well, I entered the underground fighting tournament on for personal reasons. It was just a real treat that happened to line up on the same cruise that we were on for a mission.
Could you elaborate on those personal reasons?
So I'm trying to become the world's greatest karate lawyer.
Okay, sure.
Not the world's greatest lawyer or the world's greatest karate guy, but good enough at both of those together.
To be the best, sure.
Exactly. Which, of course, would be a feather in the cap of hero.
It would be. I'd be all about having the world's greatest karate lawyer. I guess my problem is you're not there. Is that if you're trying to do that, we don't really want you to try to be the best. I have a quote here from a little guy from a little movie called Star Wars.
We do.
It says, let's see if I can remember it correctly. I think it was Luke Skywalker that said, "Don't do it, don't try it, but do your best."
I think that's exactly right, sir.
I remember
that's
that
exactly
line.
right.
Good
Yes.
line. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I think that's right. Like, don't try it, do it your best. Why aren't you doing it your
It's
best?
like I'm watching the movie now, sir.
Okay,
Also,
that's a citation.
sir-
I've told you no one likes to suck up.
Fair.
Sir,
Fair.
I think there is a hole in Mr. Squire's story. In this tournament was jiu-jitsu tournament.
Oh, that's a very valid point. Are
I
you
don't-
also trying to be a jujitsu master?
You're muted. Vegas muted. Nope, still
You're
can't hear
still
you.
muted.
Seems like he has nothing to say for himself.
Yeah, he has
How
no
about
defense.
now?
Yeah, you're
there
back.
So jujitsu has a synergistic relationship with karate. So being the world's greatest karate master involves being pretty good at several other martial arts. So winning a jujitsu tournament would have brought me that much closer to being the world's greatest karate lawyer. Just like when one studies law, one also takes a few side classes
In karate?
in karate.
Really appreciate. See that, Harriet? That's Squire taking the mandatory training modules. That's a commendation dice.
Sir, in regards to fiscal responsibility, though, those credit hours were wasted.
You did well, and there is a company policy against gambling outside of the poker tournament, which was you were approved on a company policy.
In Squire's defense,
Sure.
the disguise that I made out of the cleaning supplies was a paper towel karate uniform.
Okay.
So I didn't realize that this was personal development. I thought you were just being in character.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna give you a commendation. I'm gonna give you a commendation dice. Mona, that's great team spirit. Squire, take that citation.
Okay.
Okay. So we've got two quick things to cover. One is, we got to get serious for a second. We've had a little bit of fun, but we have to talk about these dolphins. Now, I know, it's a hard topic. Now, I don't want to throw around accusations, but I do have a note here that Brick Lightning said that he was purposely aiming for the dolphins.
You were purposely aiming for those dolphins?
I think she should be cited for bad pun in all of them. I am not native English speaker, and I know that is bad pun.
It was we don't have a rule against bad puns, but we
I
will.
would like
We
to
will.
form
I was
committee
just
to
trying to
form
make
a rule
people
against
laugh
bad.
and, try and bring the team together with a light joke. I'm sorry it didn't go over well.
I can't stay mad at that. Take a commendation for that. That's real team spirit.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, you know my long and storied history with the agency. You'll recall the last time I was in a boat, my partner, the late, great Lightning Brick.
Good man.
Great man. Great
man.
man. He was scubaing and he was attacked by a fleet of dolphins. And one of them had a scar over its eye, and I'll be damned if I didn't see a scar over the eye of one of those dolphins in that ocean.
I remember Operation Dolphin Quest when villains had brainwashed dolphins and strategically scarred one of them so that we would remember it later. It's a great attention to detail.
Personal growth in avenging a hero death, who was also a hero.
I gotta. Did you take out Scar the Dolphin?
Did I ever, sir?
Damn right you did. Take a commendation dice for
Yeah.
that. Now, we have one last thing to discuss, and this is purely a good thing, but it sounds like there was a marriage. Don't be shy. Whoever got married, come on, step forward.
Sir, I did have to marry one of the Ukrainians once I jumped out of the suitcase and sang him a happy birthday song.
That is a wedding tradition.
It is. And Mona did make me a beautiful napkin wedding dress. But also, I do need some help navigating our HR department's marriage certificate nullification processes.
There's a lot of them. There's so many forms.
There's a lot of forms, but I'm doing my best with them. And I did get a binder. It has lots of tabs.
Great. So I got a few follow-up questions for you. Did you at the wedding on the boat, who was your party? Who was the best man? Who was the maid of honor?
The tiger was definitely involved, sir.
The tiger was presumably involved.
The
Tiger
tiger
Woods.
was officiating.
Tiger Woods officiated. Yes.
Yes.
Tiger Woods officiated. Classic. Great celebrity photo op.
People forget he is licensed.
Yeah, the live tiger mauled several people.
Man,
That
that
was a damper on the wedding procedures. Let's see. So, the best man was the commissar, since he
Sure.
knew Ukrainians and he was the only one who knew them. My maid of honor was Mona, and Brick was my second maid of honor.
It was an honor. It was an honor, sir.
I was the best man in the room. I agree.
did you not invite me to your sham wedding with a Ukrainian?
No, I did. I don't.
Oh.
Your invitation must have gotten lost in the mail.
Did you lose track of an official invitation on your weird karate quest, Squire?
Well, it wasn't a weird karate quest. It was very serious.
Squire, did you neglect to show up to one of our team members' greatest day of her life?
It was a very special day for me.
It's a very
Her-
special
her
day,
one
really, for
special
all of
day.
us.
Yeah, and you did not show up when you were invited because you wanted to fight an underground pit fight?
You sold her into marriage.
Do you know what?
got
I'm gonna
out of
give
it.
I'm gonna give a citation to Commissar and to Squire. Those are both valid points. But as a wedding gift, gonna give Harriet that commendation dice.
Thank you, sir.
Of course.
My husband and I don't know each other very well, and I'm doing my best to get the marriage annulled.
We appreciate that. So, I think we've covered everything we need to cover. So let's. I'm gonna run some numbers through the system, and we'll figure out some next steps. Thank you all for coming on your Saturday. Please enjoy a croissant. They're a little bit dried out by now, but I'm sure they're still fine.
No, I'm gonna go back to Mona's waffle bar.
No,
That's fair.
croissants are far superior to waffles, sir.
Well, that's
Thank you for
just
bringing them.
me.
So now we are gonna roll some dice and
Bum, 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 bum. Dice
actually
roll.
figure out who gets that promotion and who is getting burned. So the first thing I'm gonna need everyone to do is roll your commendation dice. What you're gonna do is roll all of the commendation dice you've been given over the course of the mission.
7.
And you're going to want to note the following pieces of information. How the high dice you got, the high number you rolled from 1 to 6, and how many multiples of that number you rolled. So for instance, like 3 6s, 2 5s, etc. And once you've rolled that, everyone let me know when you've rolled that and made note of that, and we will roll our citation dice.
Yeah, I'm good.
All
All
right.
right.
Okay. Hold on. Yes. Cool. Did it.
Is everybody set?
Yeah.
All right. Now you're going to roll your citation dice, and here are how citation dice work. Any number that you roll on a citation dice cancels out all of the dice that match that number. So if you roll 1 6 on a citation dice, all of your 6s go away. This is why one citation dice can completely tank your chances of a promotion. Because all it takes is rolling 1 6, and your 6s all disappear. So you're going to roll all of the citation dice you've been given. Any numbers that match, even if it's just one dice that matches 5 dice, they all go away. When that's done, you'll make another note of the high number you rolled and the number of higher dice you rolled after that. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
Fantastic.
So,
Oh boy.
That's always great.
1 of 4.
I do not think promotion is mine, but I also do not think I am getting fired today.
So, okay, so I just remove all the numbers that the citation dice rolled up.
Yeah, so you got a if you get a 1, you remove all your 1s.
1. Okay, I didn't roll any 2.
And then if it doesn't match anything, that dice then it doesn't, then you're fine. So it's entirely possible your citation dice will do nothing.
Okay. So then that's 6 plus
That's-
6 plus 6 plus 5.
Think I'm gonna be dusting off the old karate lawyer resume.
Okay, so we will go around the table and everybody tell me the high dice you rolled and the number of high dice and the number of multiples. So we will start with let's start with Rudy.
I have 1 5.
Rudy's got 1 5. Lisa?
have 3 5s.
3 5s. Writing this down. Shane.
Coming right in the middle at 2 5s.
2 5s. A lot of 5s. Vegas.
All of my commendation dice were deleted by citation dice.
I've wanted that to happen for so long, and this is the first time it's happened, and I'm actually really happy that it happened to Vegas. So your total is 0. And Kat.
I rolled 3 6s.
3 6s. Okay.
Happy wedding.
Happy wedding indeed.
It's my
Happy
wedding gift.
birthday.
Okay, so we come back a few days later, and we have our follow-up. Mr. Squire, Esquire, we regret to inform you that we, unfortunately, we were not able to, our legal team was not able to fully clear you for the agent that you assassinated in the fighting tournament. You're fine. We were able to cover that, but you also killed 6 more people with your bare hands. It turns out they are deadly weapons. And you are unfortunately going to have to be handed over to the authorities. That's not our call. That's Disney's call. I'm so sorry.
You mess with the mouse, my friend.
You'll
did
be
mess
hearing
with the
from
mouse.
my lawyer, who is me, and my karate guy, who is also me.
Well, luckily, our new karate lawyer will be happy to answer any of your emails. Brick, while we appreciate that you successfully took down a villain's agent, we can't forgive you for what you did to the beautiful clowns of the sea. So while you're being relegated to desk duty, and we're taking away the lightning boat.
Oh my god. You might as well shoot me here, sir.
We can have that arranged if you want.
Sir,
I can arrange this. Blam.
I
Commissar.
recant my previous statement. I will be happy to work the desk. Drive the desk, if you will.
Pilot at the desk. Is that
Pilot the desk as well, yes.
Commissar,
Yes, sir.
get the hell out of my office.
Excuse. Oh, yes. Okay, I'll go back to work. Thank you.
So Mona, we would like to talk to you. This is a difficult decision. You know, we had a lot of great agents on the field. We had a lot of great work done, and we came to the decision after a lot of discussion that, well, there's really no way to put this. The promotion is yours. Corner office, company credit card, company car, all yours. Congratulations.
Wow. I like just push over the receptionist desk.
You don't need it
My
anymore.
desk!
You got clean that up, Rick.
Yes, gladly.
Now, this brings us to Harriet. So as you probably heard, you didn't get the promotion.
That's okay, sir. I'm fine in the vents.
Well, you see, the thing about that is actually you have been deemed too important for low-risk missions like this. You are being given Alpha Omega 7 clearance. And as I say those words is about when the black bag goes over your head.
Oh,
And you are dragged off
What
to
an
an
honor.
undisclosed location somewhere in international waters, where for the next 2 years you are physically and mentally broken down and rebuilt as a pure cold-blooded killing machine, and then dispatched on the highest risk, highest lethality missions the Hero Department has to offer. Congratulations, agents. Mission accomplished.
There is reason I sold her to friends in Ukraine.
yay!
Yay!
We did it, Fred!
And that's
We
mission
did it.
accomplished.
Yay!
So fun.
That was a great
Who
time.
you invented, Jeff?
I love this game a whole lot.
Well, you did a great job inventing it.
Thank you.
And now it gets to invent you.
Yes.
Not sure what that means, but all right.
I
All right,
don't
let's go around the table. Everybody say goodbye. Jeff, this is being kickstarted soon?
Yes, Kickstarter launches October 16th. We are partnering with Third Act Publishing. You can get Back the Game, help make it a reality. That is October 16th. Look it up on Kickstarter. Or you can follow me on Twitter at Party of One Pod, at which point I will be tweeting out 14 trillion links to it over the course of 30 days. I think it's a great game, and I hope that you enjoyed watching it played, listening to it played, and I hope you help make it a reality.
Yeah, I definitely think you're on your way, sir. So Party of One Pod is your Twitter. Anything else you want to plug before we say goodnight?
Partyofonepodcast.com. My other podcast, All My Fantasy Children, which is a character creation, storytelling, and world building podcast. You can find it on myfantasychildren.com. And you can find links to all of my game design, podcasting, other work at jeffstormer.com.
There you go. Shane, where can people find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at Mundangerous. That's MUN Dangerous. You can also find me on the Total Party Thrill podcast at TPTcast on Twitter or TotalPartyThrill.com.
Vegas Lancaster, tell us once more.
You can find me on Twitter at Vegas Lancaster.
CatInVegas.com too.
And also on CatInVegas.com.
Nice.
Cat and Vegas.
Cat with a C, not to be confused with Cat with a K, Faye. Where can people find you online?
That's me. If you want to find me personally online, I'm on Twitter at Kazbots. Kazbots. Yeah, because Kazbot was taken. That's KAZZBOTZ. Or you can find me at the Dames and Dragons podcast. We are Dragon Dames on Twitter. If anybody knows the people who have the Dames and Dragons podcast, please contact them and tell them that I want to kill them.
And she can. She's Alpha Omega 3.
I'm Alpha Omega 3. I've been broken down into the perfect killing machine, and I'm coming for them. You can also find that podcast at damesanddragons.com.
And Lisa, playing Mona.
The Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
Oh.
Glad somebody got that. I am Lisa Chen. You can find me on Twitter at MercifulDM, Merciful with a Y, MERCYFULDM. Or you can check me out at lisachen.com, Lisa also spelled with a Y.
And I am Rudy Basso at Rudy Basso on Twitter. And of course, go to don'tsplitthepodcastnetwork.com for lots of great podcasts, many featuring these people on this stream. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you again, Jeff, so much for running this for us. It was a lot of fun. Say goodbye, everybody. Bye.
Farewell, agents.